Jump scare! Yar, matey, welcome to Adventure Bug Hunt! It's a bug picnic!
Maya, we're not supposed to be here yet.
It's a bug adventure!
I sound like Louis Armstrong, not a pirate. That was my best pirate. I tried my best. I sound like Louis Armstrong.
Welcome to Bug Hunt!
The production quality is incredible. Incredible. Okay, I'm done with that. That was it. Oh. Thank you for the compliments on the butterfly pinning screen. Yeah, adjust the volume. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I brought the rain. Oh, I guess y'all can hear, but I can't hear, so... Hi! Hello, everyone! How's it going? You having a fancy day? Do you want to hear about my shit show with therapy appointment yesterday? It was actually maybe the most embarrassing thing in my life before a bug hunt. So I forgot lunch yesterday, and you know, there wasn't any food around where I work, and I was really hungry. And I forgot that I had therapy, and so I couldn't go home to go eat, and so I had to stay there, and I was so upset. All I could think about was how hungry I was. And then my therapist hopped on eating food, and I busted out tears. Because she was eating an apple with peanut butter. And she looks at me and she goes, "You look sad." Anyways.
Yar, welcome to Bug Hunt!
That's not a pirate voice. I'm gonna workshop it.
You're invited to a picnic. A bug picnic.
Someone said I was unhinged tonight. This is true. I'm so very excited. I'm excited. It's a bug adventure.
Arthropod time!
It's not a pirate voice.
Arr! Arr!
Everyone tell Maya that she has slayed today. Tell Maya thank you for this bug adventure. We're pirate hunting. And say thank you to Echo. Echo's gonna work the cams tonight. Mick isn't feeling great. We're sorry, Mick. Maya slay. Yeah, slay the house down. Thank you, boss. CEO Louis Armstrong, is that you? Welcome to Bug Hunt. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. Look at these fire ants are on it. Is that the peanut butter bit? So you know something actually I do to help farmers that have fire ants in their pasture. We try to figure out where the or like what kind of ants they are or what kind of things that they're attracted to. So there are like two ways that you can basically bait a fire ant. And one is with a greasy Lay's potato chip or a hot dog. And the other one is some jelly on a card. And so then you put both out, right? You put either like hot dog or some Lay's potato chips, and then you put out jelly and you look to see what goes to both. And then you know whether you have fire ants that are going for protein or whether you may have like a native ant that looks very similar that's going for sugar. So it's like you can figure out the biology because they have to get rid of them in the pasture, right? So if you can figure out what they're attracted to, you can actually, you know, eliminate them that way. I mean, Lay's, potato chips, hot dogs, jelly, it's like a picnic. Potato chip doesn't have protein, but what it does have is fat. So it's covered in fat and grease, and that's really attractive to how we like things. Bugs have very similar sense of taste to us, except for the fact that they really like rot. But I guess rot could just be umami in this world, right? It's time for a bug hunt. I'm so excited. The camera is moving. Does anyone have any fun bug questions? Hello. You haven't missed any of Bug Hunt. It hasn't officially started yet. Rot is umami. Fever bug, what is it? Membracids. They're these little bugs that are tiny little plant hoppers, but they've evolved to have like the craziest, like Kentucky Derby style hats, so that people, you know, it's like a mimic to either like look like things or to be so scary nobody wants to eat them. I love them. Am I a singer? No, I am a jokester. Was the Arthropleura real? Yeah. Ginormy millipede? Yes. What do bugs store in their round butts? Like all of their organs? Their bug kidneys, which are called like Malpighian tubules, and some of their bug lungs, their spiracles, some fat. Which bugs do best in really cold climates? Bugs that are built like Escalades, so like big, thick bugs, like big, thick beetles, or really tiny bugs. Because no, oh, it's back.
People pug, wow.
The _
Really tiny bugs because they can handle
for 2 months.
the cold temperatures better, right? So like the only bug that's in Antarctica is this thing called like the Antarctic midge, and a midge is a tiny little fly. Bugs have the same organs with us, but with bug in front of the name. Yes! Fun bug organs. Bugs have kidneys. If you could pick one bug to have as your steed, like horse-sized, what would you pick? This is the best question. Oh gosh, that's really hard. Okay, I kind of want to go out there and say like an earwig, because like one, I could be like a certified forklift operator because like I would have a forklift badonkadonk in the back. Two, they have tiny little wings underneath their elytra that I could like grab onto. And they've got giant raptorial like mandibles, like they've got, you know, big bitey mandibles, so I could be like invincible, right? So it's basically just like a modded Subaru with like cooler stuff. Oh, a dragonfly would be cool too. I guess I went kind of out there with the earwig thing. June bugs have started showing up here on the east coast of Canada as the weather's getting warmer. Why do they only show up for a few weeks and they don't stick around for the entire summer? They don't live that long. Also, bugs start at like our eye level, and sometimes as they grow and like they go away from us, they go up. And so beetles could be going up into the tree canopy and we don't really notice them. Praying mantis would be badass. Can you explain the intelligence of an individual ant? How does their flowchart of instructions work? This is really cool because social insects have much more consciousness than we actually expected. Bug hunt! Should I do the pirate song again? I'm gonna do it at some point. I feel like I kind of want to do it now. But, oh, anyways, sorry. Y'all know I'm all over the place. Ants and like bug consciousness. So they've actually found that ants have like dopamine and other like receptors that we do. And so ants can be like irritated or they can feel things, and so there may be some sort of consciousness They can get defensive. They can get upset. Some bugs can scream and like scream when like predators attack, right? Like they're actually scared and they go ah. And so ants, while they work collectively as a whole, have somewhat of an autonomy. And so, you know, basically their instructions are to follow the smell or taste, right? So like ants are going, they're moving, they're vibing on that smell and taste. But they also may feel things on a deeper level than we understand. So that one video of the ant getting duped by someone swapping out the grapevine felt great shame on my family. I've definitely upset ants. I used to stick. Yeah, that's when they're defending. So like we talked about how insane ants are after like flooding events, because fire ants actually like make a raft out of their larvae. So like out of the babies, they stick them all together because they basically have hairs that turn them into Velcro, and they can Velcro all the babies together, and then the little hairs catch bubbles, and then they ride those babies like a pontoon down the river. But when they're doing that, baby raft, it exists. Oh, Mick, I'm sorry you're throwing up. Feel better. But anyways, now that Mick is done throwing up, I talk about the baby rafts again. When they're in that mode, they're super protective, and so they actually can increase their venom load, and so they become much more venomous and can cause like serious medical issues with their stings, much more than we ever expected. Anyways, hey Mick, you're invited to a picnic, a bug picnic, where Mick is throwing up. Boo-doo-doo. I'm sorry, Nicholas. Feel better soon. Okay. Anyways, welcome to Bug Hunt. Wait, someone said shout out them subs. Did I miss him? I'm sorry if I missed him. I got distracted. That was a personal attack. She Wendy Williams. Stomach bug is the wrong kind of bug. It was B-Day. It was B-Day. I did the most wholesome thing. I went to a high school. There was a science teacher. She I went to this high school. There's this science teacher I'm friends with, and we made a bee house for solitary bees because they're completely fantastic. It was a really good program. Allison getting distracted, that never happens. The only bug I got in me is the jitterbug. But yes, my new bug influencer Instagram, I made this for y'all. I now feel like I have a small fiefdom. I feel like I have too much power. It's very fun. I like showing you my bug pictures. Will it get more unhinged? Probably. I'm learning Instagram. Anyways, we're on the hunt for bugs. Are we gonna get anything good today? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We can just chit chat. Ask me your bug questions. How does an ant colony start? Do they have to sign? Do they have their own ant-sized Declaration of Independence that they all sign? No. A whole bunch of the ladies, because you know it's mostly ladies, leave the nest. They have wings. They're queens, and they start their own colony. So it's like being kicked out of the nest at 18. What should I do about invasive bugs in my area? Document, report. I have this reoccurring dream / nightmare that I find invasive bugs while I'm rock climbing, and that I call the Department of Ag and I say that I'm important. That hasn't happened. We have a super invasive spider in the southeast where I'm at, called the Joro spider. It is a ginormous orb weaver. Our flying ants, just the queens. eventually they would turn into queens if they make it. There are also other ants, the drones will also fly. Are y'all grammaring? I see a lot of grammaring happening here. Watching. Welcome to Bug Hunt from the passenger seat, back from dinner. I hope you had a good meal. Drones, because they're hymenopterans, right? They're social insects. We have this hierarchy.
Wow.
What's your opinion on
sub for 9 months.
harmful
9 months
species
of
bugs in
crushing
North
on
America?
Allison. Hannah.
There's a thing. Thank you so much for the sub, Ben Kelsey. That's the one who sent the prints to the PO box. Look, I got it. Bam. Look at me, bug influencer. I got distracted again. I see a question that says, how do you naturally repel wood bees? I live in an apartment and they're burrowing in the patio. I live with people that's allergic. You can disturb where they're actually tunneling. So like you can, what is the voice? Now I feel self-conscious about getting distracted. Disturb the nests of the carpenter bees. So like you can take tinfoil and plug in those nests so that they can't come back. A lot of the times you really just have to deter them away, because that means that the wood is ripe enough and good enough that they can dig through it. And so once they do, they'll continue to do that. So it's either like replace the wood or disturb their nests. Wait, she almost answered my question. Oh, invasive versus harmful species of bugs. Thank you. Okay, Kate. Yay! I'm back on track. There's a contention about saying things are invasive, right? Because if we're thinking about it, you know, we're invasive. And so it's what I'm trying to do, and I haven't been doing a good job of it, is focusing on saying like nuisance species. So we can have things that are invasive that end up being very beneficial. Like earthworms were invasive in the early days because earthworms aren't from North America, right? So earthworms established here. I see a bug. It's kind of grainy, but I see it. So what we really do is focus on like nuisance species. So like the Joro spider, for example, would be a nuisance species. And, you know, it really depends. So there's this other species that came in, and it was an invasive species, and it was something called a kudzu bug in Plataspedy. Fun fact, this kudzu bug was found by a student in their insect taxonomy collection. How can y'all tell that's a frog? That is so blurry. Is it me? Shimmy. Frog shimmy. How do I type that? Plataspid? Plataspedy. So anyways, Plataspids, kudzu bugs, actually reduced the population of invasive kudzu in the south. And so those are two things, both invasive, working in a dynamic that's actually beneficial. So, I mean, it's a big question, right? We're going brainiac level here. Plataspid, it's a little brown bug. Do ants have their own graveyards? Bees also have their own graveyards. Hymenopterans are very meticulous about being clean. They're very clean. Honeybees are not from... I see a frog. I see it now. I see the frog. Honeybees are not from America, no. They're a European species. Did you know honeybees are actually listed as livestock for USDA requirements? Because they ship bees all across the United States to actually get things pollinated because we don't support our native pollinators enough. This is a small soapbox that I stand on. Welcome to Soapbox of the Night number 1. Only 9 minutes late. Welcome. That was a frog bug. Actually, there is a frog bug. Wait, let me look it up for you. It's one of my favorite. Here's one of my favorite bugs. It is actually a for real frog bug. It's called a glasticorid. It's a toad bug. I love a pollinator soapbox. Thank you very much. So we don't support our pollinators enough, and we grow everything in like such big patches. You know, we have like acres and acres of pecans, or like giant apple orchards rolling through. And we don't have enough native pollinators, although solitary pollinators are incredible for pollinating early season apples. Fantastic. We thank our Osmia mason bees for coming out in January and pollinating those apples. But other people, they don't have enough, so they'll ship honeybees like livestock throughout the United States and then put them at certain periods for places and times so that the crop gets pollinated, and then move them from place to place. Because, you know, bees actually pollinate like 75 pollinators, you know, make sure that like over 75% of flowering plants live, and they pollinate like a third of the plant food that we eat. So like anything colorful. We love mason bees. Russian honeybees are a much more gentler form of the Apis mellifera. Yes. Actually, with this Instagram, what I'm going to do is show how to build some bee boxes. I think that's something I'm going to do because I teach a solitary bee box building class. I'm going to show you how to make one, and I'm going to show you how to make some like budget friendly ones too, because people always ask me like what you can do with your straws. You know, straws kill the turtles, right? Is the almond farming industry harmful to bees? It keeps bees in business. Bees contribute like $15 billion worth of agricultural value to the United States alone, and that is just with almonds. Anyways, back to my straw rant. People are like, what can you do with straws? I'm sorry, I am extra all over the place today. I apologize. Is that a crane fly, or is it just a harvestman? It's a harvestman. Hello, hello. I think it's a harvestman. Upside down. Anyways, no, so you can like save your straws, right? I've said straws 16 times, right? Save them in a drawer. We're gonna do something with them. We're going to do a craft for the bees. Keep them in your pocket. If you get takeaway, put them in a drawer. We're gonna talk about them, and I'm gonna show you how to make a really inexpensive bee nest out of straws. And so the thing is you can't keep solitary bee houses forever. You can't keep like the ones made out of wood because they actually harbor diseases. And so unless you actually meticulously clean them out, baby straws are totally fine. Unless you meticulously clean them out and like bleach them and reset them, which can make them less attractive to bees. Toilet paper rolls would work. Save your toilet paper rolls, and then you could shove straws in them, and then you have like an exterior that you could paint and make really pretty. But yeah, plastic straws. So, you know, basically plastic straws are single use and they go right into the waste stream. Look at this wolf spider. We have an opportunity to make bee houses with those straws, and instead of throwing them away immediately after you use them, you could get a season or two of use out of them before having to throw them away. Because, you know, eventually we have to get rid of the bee houses we make anyways. I have like pretty wooden ones that I make, which I'll show you how to make. I'm gonna figure out, I made my first reel. It was a struggle. I made it. I'm gonna do it again. And I'll teach you how to make like a wooden bee house and then some like more budget friendly ones. Stainless steel straws might be difficult because we're gonna cut them to like make them a little bit smaller. You totally could. Yes, you compost old bee boxes when you're done. So I generally have a structure that's like treated and bugs don't get into it, and then I just replace my pieces of wood. But I'll show you all the different kind of materials that we can use. It'll be fun. We'll make bee houses. I'll do that sometime soon, maybe this week or next week. I also am gonna go on a hunt for dragonfly larvae so I can show you their cool masks that catch food and how they breathe with their butts. So I'm fully expected to be, you know, in trouble for trespassing in some nice waterway soon. What do slugs do for the environment? Eat my strawberries. I think that strawberries, thank you. I'm glad you like the Instagram. I've tried. Ooh, we have a bug. It's an isopod. You could totally use the bamboo straws for the bee house. I use bamboo straws in my bee houses. I use like pieces of bamboo because it's like invasive around here, and we cut it and we save it for our bee classes. Anyways, I have ideas. I think slugs break things down. Honestly, slugs, not my forte. I need things that have legs. Oshapod. No, that's funny. That, Ophelia, your hole in your leg that a little slug made, that is a lot. That's a bruh moment. Is there any reason why worms are all over the place? Worms, so they have to have a lot of moisture, but if they have too much moisture, they can't breathe. And so they have to come up to the surface. They'll get flooded out, but they also come to the surface to mate, right? Have their cool worm sex. And so they have to come to the surface, and they usually do that after it rains as well. I'm so sad we can't see the decor on the map. It was a pirate map.
It was so good, matey.
Cool worm sex. Kids do cool worm sex nowadays. Are fire ants the same sort of thing as red ants in the UK? No, there's lots of different species of ants. These are Solenopsis invicta. I don't know, they might be in the UK, but so these specific ants, the red imported fire ant, they started in Louisiana and they have just gone totally apeshit since, right? They've gone full, you know, GTA like burn the world down style take over, and they've moved across like the entire southeast, and so now there's like federal regulations to keep their populations down in the south. If you're shipping like plants or dirt or soil, you actually have to drench the soil in insecticides to kill any life before it moves out, which is, you know, really harmful for the soil microbes. It reduces the soil microbes, as well as pretty much kills, you know, any fertility like arthropod wise in that soil or plant. I fell down a hill while working in Yellowstone because my friend told me there was worm sex. I was too excited to run down a hill in flip-flops. Note to self, wear closed-toed shoes when adventuring. Without snack labels, I assume the ants are eating. It's the only label on the cardboard. So, Charlie, you missed. It's like a full-on pirate-themed adventure board that Maya put out. It's got like a little treasure chest and a pirate ship, and it is really cool, but it doesn't show up on the camera. Hugsies asked, what's the current most destructive invasive bug species to the North American ecosystem? And that's hard, because there are things like, look at this fly chilling. There are things like the emerald ash borer, which is a beetle that destroys trees. Look, someone wrote eastern ash borer. Yeah, emerald ash borer is what it is. It's a buprestid, right? So it's really successful, tiny little bullet-shaped shiny beetle that like digs into trees and kills large standing ash trees. There are also things like the spongy moth. It's renamed. It had an old name. It's been renamed to the spongy moth, and that can be a really harmful moth as well because it defoliates trees and kills a lot of things. This wolf spider is on the hunt. All my homies in forestry loathe emerald ash borers. Our homies hate emerald ash borers. Have you ever heard of worm charming? No. I'm going to have to Google it. That's new. But yeah, there are a few quite destructive nuisance species. I don't know if we could really top them all. Has the US done anything to ban pesticides? Yes, there is a lot of litigation going on with different pesticides. We have a lot that we have access to, like, right? Farmers have a lot of access to pesticides. What we're really focusing on is like reducing pesticide use instead of just banning them completely. We want to still keep some of those tools for farmers, but suppress how much is actually being used. Do y'all want to guess actually some of the most destructive people who use pesticides? I want to guess. And it's a wolf spider. Sorry. Someone guess in the United States who's the most destructive with pesticides? Homeowners, homeowners, homeowners. Because they make fun little Polly Pocket, like, kitchen experiment recipes of pesticides. Say it isn't so. And they don't have a lot of the extensive education that restricted applicators have to have, right? You can go to Lowe's, you can go to Home Depot, you can just buy something. And then they think, oh, I don't need to read that label. More better. And the thicker that stuff is, the better. And so they're using a lot higher concentrations of pesticides, which is like totally destructive. And they're mixing in like Dawn dish soap and bleach and vinegar and salt. It's insanity. Boring green grass lovers. All my homies said homeowners need pesticide safety education. And the worst thing though is, so I went and gave this talk to a botanical gardens, and I had all these people there, and then I told them that the generation after us isn't going to see frogs. Like, frogs aren't going to be a common occurrence the generation after me. And they were like, oh, no, how dare you say that frogs won't exist? You're such a liar. Frogs gone? And I'm like, well, since herbicides are the most commonly applied pesticide in the world, most commonly applied by homeowners, and is being misused and is highly toxic to aquatic organisms, we're gonna see an impact and shift on the population of frogs. I definitely think that there's going to be a decline. And, I don't know if it's necessarily true that my next generation, like the generation after me, won't see as many frogs, but it's happening now. Yes. Georgie is extremely susceptible to herbicides, weed killers. And that is something that people don't think about when they put pesticides out on the ground. Do you have any upcoming new methods for dealing with bed bugs? I hate them. Heat. Heat is the new bed bug killer. So there are these cool, fancy tech companies who, I'm going to answer, does safe pesticide exist? But I'm going to talk about the cool tech companies that have like the super high heat. They can basically like encapsulate your room, take all of your furniture, put it in a chamber, and heat it to a temperature that kills it. Pro tip, if you want to prevent bringing in bed bugs from traveling, keep your suitcase in the trunk of your car or on the front porch or anywhere that's going to get a lot of heat, or take your clothes and put them in the dryer immediately, and then put your suitcase in a place where your bed isn't near. Because heat kills bed bugs. They're really susceptible to it. They're big sissies. So if you live somewhere where it's hot, kill those suckers with heat. And I see this, it's probably a carabid. Brown beetle are running. But I want to get back to, do safe pesticides exist? There's a risk with everything, but what there is are really selective pesticides. So there are pesticides that only affect one nuisance species for a certain rotational period. And yes, they're expensive, but they don't affect pollinators and they don't affect soil microbes as much. And so there are safer pesticides, but is there safe pesticide? I generally say no. You can hurt yourself with heat. There are safer options, but you always want to be, really meticulous when you're thinking about it. Somewhere in landscaping, potassium salts, horticulture soap, that's a safer pesticide. It's a soap that suffocates bugs. And we're back to the pile of poop, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentle thems. Anyways, yeah. Heat your furniture, heat your clothes, put them in the dryer. Prevents the bugs from actually getting into your house. What are some alternatives? I'd love to make flyers and pass them around to educate them. Xerxes actually has a really cool article on how to reduce insecticide and pesticide use, and they have some IPM strategies in there. I'll see if I can't find that. But they've got good ideas. So some alternatives, obviously you can use different plants to like suppress weeds, making sure you always have ground cover, bringing in different, taller plants to shade out invasive weeds, thinking past the traditional green grass lawn. What is the Irish spring soap method? Someone educate me. Did you hear about that TikToker that released 100 million ladybugs in New York? What? No. That is insanity. Silica dust is a very good option, and so is diatomaceous earth. Those both work. Do comments like Spider-Man tick you off? Entomologists already play with radiation for population control. They use it for real, not to make superbugs, but to make sure that there's no harmful bugs that eat our living flesh. And I'm not going to bring that up because I started a whole can of flesh-eating worms when I started that. No, I think that, funny bug things are funny, right? Can bugs feel pain or fear? This is something that people are researching, and the question is yes, but we don't know to what extent. So they did this research study where they were trying to test if they could make bees afraid, or if they could, elicit like a fear or an anger response from bees. So they shook them in a jar. Look at that sweetwood lice. So they shook these bees in a jar to piss them off, and agitate them, and then they tested like their brain chemicals to see if there were, different levels of like dopamine or serotonin in the bees, because they produce these same things. Yes, they really hard for like a minute, and it was showing that their chemical levels were fluctuating in the same way that like a human's chemical level would fluctuate. And so there is some consensus that look at this sweet ground beetle. What a fun opportunistic feeder. I mean, there are also things like there's like I'm trying to think of like there's like ones that like bees scream when predators are nearby. They were doing like a predator response, and bees were screaming in fear. And there were these other studies like they got bumblebees like hooked on sugar, and so they were showing that bees were eliciting like a serotonin response, just like we would. Look at this little ant that's nearby. Is it going for the beetle? No, 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 no. Real life. Y'all just saw real life. This is Nat Geo. Welcome. Planet Earth.
Wow.
Holy moly. I love Taco Bell 9420. Thanks for the sub. And also, what a fantastic username. I too love Taco Bell. Have I ever worked with paleontologists to help identify ancient insects? No, I haven't. I think that'd be kind of cool. I've worked with some old historical insects, but not, ancient insects. Have I ever seen a pest caterpillar in person? Are they really fuzzy? Yes, they are fantastically fuzzy. They look so fun, like you'd really want to touch them. You're not supposed to touch them, a no touch zone. You shred Irish Spring soap and it spreads in the bed for pest control because of the citrus. Interesting. You know what? I will look it up. I have not heard of this Irish Spring soap, and it's probably something I need to know because I bet you I have homeowners around me who might be doing this. I'll look it up. Putting soap outside, it's similar to putting other soaps. The only thing I would be concerned about is there anything in the soap that the plant could uptake that we don't want, or on the outside of the plant that we don't want to eat. Is it true that mosquitoes are more likely to feed on people with certain genes? It's more true that mosquitoes are more likely to feed on people who put off more CO2. So, like heavy mouth breathers, mosquitoes love. Mosquitoes delight. What are some of the craziest specimens that I have in my collection? Ooh, that's a good one. I've got some really cool endemic beetles from Arizona. I've got these beetles. I fought for these beetles. I was in the salt pan, mirage-y looking deserts where you can really see water in Arizona. And I mean, these tiger beetles are fast. They can go like up to 5 miles per hour. They are the fastest bug as far as speed. And so, I mean, I was zooming. I had on my gear. I had on my double canister fanny pack, my net. I was chasing those suckers. And those are maybe some of the most cool in my opinion. Chat, are you mouth breathers? Be in shape, breathe less, get less mosquitoes. Noted. Yes. Ooh, I need a good mosquito repellent recommendation that's not harmful but works. There's a brand new biopesticide that's been approved that's called IR3535. IR3535. It's not a DEET-based repellent. I think DEET's fine as long as you wash it off your skin. You don't keep it on your skin for more than 8 hours. You don't see as many effects. But IR3535 is a biopesticide repellent. And it's a really interesting molecule, and it's like a lotion and it's scentless. And I have really been enjoying that. I read from an editorial that honeybees are invasive species introduced from Europe. The wild bee species are threatened from it. What is your opinion about us? That is 100%, 1,000, a million, gazillion% true. We need to protect our native pollinators, right? So honeybees have like a 5% success rate for pollination. So basically these dudes are just party dancing, going from place to place. And if they pollinate, good for them. They're not really that focused. Solitary bees have a 95% pollination rate and efficacy. And solitary bees, one single one, can go up to 2,000 blooms per day. I mean, they are mission focused. They are all about their job. Work-life balance, they don't have it. Hi, Helen. But anyways, we should prioritize our native bee species. That's why I'm going to talk about how we build bee houses and bring them in. There is a concern for some bee hotels, especially if we don't clean them. Some introduced bees that are now nuisance species. Look at this sweet little spider playing. May bring diseases into those solitary beehives and affect solitary bees. Do I have any beekeeper friends? Oh, yes, I do. I work with a lot of beekeepers. Pollinator conservation is like one of my big things. They're self-employed bees. I collect mosquito bites like they're Pokemon cards. We lost the word Asian hornets. How do I avoid getting stung? Hornets aren't going to be outwardly aggressive unless you're near their space. And so if they're near, like if their nest is near you, then I would back away, go somewhere else. Oh, look, there's a skull. We can see a skull. It's ominous. Are there kill on site bugs for ecosystem purposes? Yes. You see an emerald ash borer, kill on site. Actually put it in a plastic baggie and save it. Look at this wolf spider. How accurate is the Bee movie? Wait, do y'all want to hear something I'm canceled? I'm gonna get canceled now. I've never seen the Bee movie in full. I had a student submit the Bee movie script in entirety for a project and I gave them 100, but I didn't read it. All my homies hate emerald ash borers. Turn them into earrings. Rah! Hemlock woolly adelgid is a huge one too. This is it. I had a great time being a bug influencer. I really felt my peak. I got to 200 and something followers on Instagram, and then I got canceled because I've never seen Bee movie. It was great knowing y'all while I could. Yeah, I gave my student 100 for the Bee movie script. Fake bug influencer. She doesn't even like bugs. Woman falls in love with a bee. Sounds like your kind of movie. Echo, you're doing great, by the way. It's a rainy day. You know, you're trying your best. You had your Macca's, McDonald's. We're going for it. There's just not a lot of bugs out tonight. Can bees form a bond to a human? I don't really think so. They can't imprint like corvids and things can, or like birds can. If you taste delicious, like if you're really salty, they might form a bond as far as they tell their nest mates that you taste really good and they might come back. Look at this sweet isopod. Where do bugs go in rain? They go and hide in little places. They'll hide under leaves. I have a jumping spider that lives in the parsley on my porch, and every time it rains, they just take some leaves and put it over themselves to protect themselves. But they're all hiding like under plants, under the lips of houses, like any cracks so they don't get exposed to rain. Look at this sweet isopod. Someone said, any tips to avoid bugs in your house? I want to protect them, but I don't want them in your house. That's very fair. There is this really inexpensive material called weather stripping. Weather. And so this is like foam with tape. And what I would suggest is to weather strip around your doors and your windows. Look at it during the day, and if you see sunlight through it, that means a bug can get through it. And so seal your house. Bee movie was a lie. He was in it for the salt. We're all just in it for the salt. Bees are like addicted to saltwater swimming pools. So like the Richie McRiches that have the saltwater pool. And if you do, good for you. I want to be in your financial bracket. If you're here and you have a saltwater pool, hit me up. Let's be friends. I'm just kidding. It's all right. But they're addicted to the saltwater in the pool. And so bees will travel like over 2 miles to get the saltwater in that pool because they love salt. There are a lot of ants. There are ants because there's protein out in the pasture. So they're foraging like crazy. Electrolytes is what plants crave. Electrolytes, it's what bugs want. Would it be a good idea to wear banana-scented sunscreen when visiting a hive during the heat of summer? Probably not. I don't know if they would be attracted to the artificial banana scent. What kind of video game on bugs would you like to see? I want a video game where I can walk through a South American forest and I can turn leaves and look at the bugs under the leaves and catch bugs with a net and then put them all into like a little bug jar and then look at them in the end. Like I just want a page where I can look at my back teeth. Basically what I do in real life, but in American forest. That is the bug I'd like to see. So if anyone's going to start that, that's IP. Give me credit. I'll play it. I have not heard of the game Bugs Next. I'll have to look it up. Have you heard of Animal Crossing? Yeah, this is basically just Animal Crossing, but just bugs. Nothing else. I don't care about villagers. Scorpion alert! Scorpion alert! Whoa! Let's go! Metal! Do you know that scorpions will actually take their first instar young and they'll collect them all like a little ball and they'll take their tail and just kind of clamp over them and bring them along as they travel? This is good. This is good. Baby raft, but in like tail ball. Grappling hook for babies. Take your kids to work day. This is a good find, Echo. Good find. They can carry their babies on their back too, but like if they need to quick transport, so the babies in like the first instar, so just hatched from their, egg, they're living this life. They don't eat first. They don't eat for the first instar. And so they're kind of helpless. And so mom's like, it's okay, kids. I still love you. I'll take you around. And they grappling hook. Take these babies to school. An instar is like a development stage. Yeah. So like bugs, they grow their skeleton on the outside of their body. And so there's no room for them to grow. And so when they get to a point where they're pushing on that skeleton on the outside, they have to molt. And so then they'll shed that exoskeleton and then they'll grow a new exoskeleton. And what's actually really cool, this is a really cool, fun meta bug fact. They actually dissolve most of the nutrients from their exoskeleton and reabsorb them and use them to make the next exoskeleton. So like when a bug is shedding it, it's only shedding the very outer layer. The inner parts of the exoskeleton, they dissolve and just slurp it right back in their body. Bees love salt. Bugs love salt. Salt is the mineral, not necessarily sugar. They're not really attracted to sweet things. Sometimes they are, but salt is what lets them make sperm. And so that is the nature's, currency is salt. What's the exo and exoskeleton? Cross-linked, fibrous chitin. Bugs are hair. Have you ever played Grounded? You shrunk in a backyard and you have to defend yourself from bugs. No, I haven't. That's kind of fun. Do bees have palates? Like, do bees prefer the taste of one thing or another? Definitely. They're very picky. They're picky about their pollen. They're picky about, what floral nectaries they visit. Bees low-key get addicted to caffeine and caffeinated plants and also opioid plants. Bees love poppy flowers because they get a mild opiate effect. And so bees are buzzed while they're buzzing. Look at this sweet field cricket. Look at this sweet baby mama. Oh, she found a snack. So this is a female, right? Because she's got a vagina straw. She can lay her eggs. She's a field cricket. Hi, readers. Hello. Welcome to Bug Hunt. We talk about bugs for an hour. She has a what? Yes, she has a vagina straw. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I said it. So she lays her eggs in the dirt. And so she has to get it kind of deep. And so she's got that silly straw right there. You see that thing backing it up? Yeah, she sticks that hypodermic needle in the dirt, lays her eggs. It is an ovipositor. Yes, that is the correct term. A straw bussy. Ah! This is the field cricket's straw bussy. It's a silly straw. No, you can't build your bee hotel from that, but that is good. Get it, mama. She is well fed. Y'all got the jokes tonight. The jokes. Straw bussy. I will be using that in my in my insect talks next semester. Hey girl, what that straw do? A couple of times I fed my dog when we were playing outside and bees got into the can and ate some of it. Aw, that's quite sad. The birth canal. Straw bussy was not on my Alveus 2024 bingo card. From an evolutionary perspective, what is the closest bug to our ancient common ancestor? Ooh, that's a really good one. I have to think. I'm thinking. I'm learning. I'm thinking about like the most extant relative of hexapods because we're going like true bug, right? So like springtails, columbolans, they'd probably be one of the most primitive, or mayflies, or I'm thinking of like the extant or dragonflies. That's like a really tough one phylogenetically, depending on how you make it. If you go arthropods, then it's, you know, scorpions, millipedes, centipedes. So I don't know phylogenetically. Interesting how the ant butts are a different temperature than the rest of their body. They can't make body heat, and so the least amount of activity is going on in the ant butt. So there's like physiological activity, right? So they're breathing, they're processing things, they're making venom, but all of the movement, which is creating heat in this ant, is all in the thorax, where the leg muscles are and where the legs are. How much could an ant deadlift? Ants can like lift like 50 times their weight, I think. And so, I mean, I think you can math that. I'm not going to math that. The ants have had peanut butter pill pockets, carrots. Does anyone else remember that? We are very genetically similar to fruit flies. That is true. They do a lot of fruit fly studies. So like they work on different gene strains for medications to see if, you know, medicines will work on us. They research fruit flies for seizures. Now this is actually a grasshopper. This is not a cricket, this is a grasshopper, and it's a short-horned grasshopper. And so these are in the family Acrididae, and these have super powerful legs. And so they have those super big legs meant for jumping. They can jump much more than a cricket can. They got those beefy legs. By my math, an ant can binge a blue whale. I'm stealing that fact. That is fantastic. I wish I could hear the rain. How do you feel about the amblypygids? How do you feel about the giant spider from Harry Potter? You mean amblypygids? One of my favorite arthropods ever. I adore amblypygids with a absolute passion. They are tailless whip scorpions, right? They're not really scorpions. They're not really spiders. They're just these precious little cave-dwelling babies that have horrible eyesight, and they feel everything with their sweet little hands. And they actually have like the closest thing I would say to an opposable thumb in the insect world. So they have like these forelegs that have spikes on the ends, and they kind of grab and pinch and manipulate with that. And so it's like super cool. And so they grab things with their little hands. Oh, AMBLYPYGI, amblypygy. I wonder if I can look it up on Bug Guide. please pause. I am giving you a picture. I adore them. Are the bug hunt streams every Sunday? This is my first one. This is Wednesday, and they're every Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Every Wednesday. Look at that sweet wolf spider. Oh, I ordered Sebastian's spider book. Do you know when we had the spider expert come and talk to us? Sebastian on Spider Day Night Live. I ordered their spider identification guide. I'm really excited to see it. We need a bug shanty. We have one.
You're invited to a picnic.
How to not be scared of spiders. There's a spider around you, like you're no more than like 6 feet from a spider at all times. I'm pretty sure that fact is like accurate. I'm so sorry. I've been so unhinged tonight. Boss lady. Maya Slay. I don't know. Spiders really don't want to mess with you. Are there any bug catcher devices that you recommend to reduce harm? I'm scared, but I don't want to hurt them. There's this bug catcher thing I saw on a Instagram reel that I really want to buy and was only $11. I think I'm just gonna buy it for research purposes, right? And if it works, then I'll totally recommend it. It's like a little cave you put over, and then it has like a little piece of paper you can slide under, and you can look at the bug. Maybe start with like cuter spiders first. Like jumping spiders are my favorite. I think that they have a lot of personality and a lot of spunk for such a little package. So the bugs split from amphibians before leaving the water. Yes, because there are aquatic bugs. Peacock spiders are adorable. I'm sorry about the 6 foot from a spider at all time fact. I keep a couple jumping spiders in my tiny house. They keep me company. I read a spider bit me on my balls, but that wasn't right. A spider bit me on my cheek, and it's as swollen as 2 golf balls. I got ice on it. You keep some ice on that, Mads. Keep some ice on that spider bite. I'm glad it's not your balls. Oh yeah, Maya, we saw a scorpion. It was legit. Shrimps are just water roaches. Yes, shrimps is bugs. Look at that wolf spider. Precious with her shiny eyes. Straw bussy. Y'all are getting me. I like how some jumping spiders will do little dances to get a mate too. Also, some spiders will give other spiders gifts. So some spiders' love language is gift giving, and they'll make these tiny little presents. And so sometimes it'll be like a mushy dead bug. Think like a dead fly, like wrapped up, all kind of things. Boss is always here. Boss hears everything, y'all. She's always here. She's always slaying. But they'll take their little present and they'll give it to a female spider, and they'll be like, hey, do you like this? If you liked this, can we smash? And it's like a mid, modern Y2K romance. It's thoughtful behavior. Is the gift giving to minimize the chance of the spider eating them? Yes, it is, but it's the thought that counts. When a spider is more thoughtful than some of my friends' boyfriends. Men, take notes. Yeah, sometimes the spider presents are empty. They're just like wrapped web. What insect would be your choice to be enlarged to dog size? Oh my god, I want a tiny, like, rosy maple moth. I feel like if a rosy maple moth was Chihuahua size, I'd lose my shit. Why do so many female bugs eat their mating partners? It's just a strategy to survive. A lot of insects are just voracious hunters, and those ones that eat their mating partners, basically, they just see and eat on sight. They're just like constantly hungry. Odin, you missed a scorpion. I too give my girlfriend presents so she doesn't eat me. What's the Jurassic Park? Dinosaur eats man, women inherit the earth. Right? I mean, real life. But no, it's just a strategy. They're voracious predators, right? And so anytime that they see anything nearby that would make a good substantial dinner, like say a full-size meat, then they say yes, snack. And insects have a branched nervous system that works in clusters. So the male mantis can still pump sperm into the female while he's missing a head. He'll still live for a hot minute. And so one, he effectively stays locked in. So he's ensuring the chance that his offspring is gonna live. And that's about it. He sacrificed himself for the cause. Why snack shaped? This is very true. Why are all insects crustaceans? Because shrimp is bugs. They're all crustaceans. They're all crustacean relatives. Fun fact, if you're allergic to bugs, or if you're allergic, I'm sorry, let's rewind that. If you're allergic to shellfish, crabs, shrimp, those kind of fun things, you're also probably allergic to bugs. And so if you eat a cricket-based protein, you're going to have a reaction just like a shrimp. Also, some foods may give you an inflammatory reaction like peanut butter, because there is an allowed spectrum of parts per product of insect parts that you can have in processed food, like peanut butter crackers and peanut butter. And so if you have a severe shellfish allergy, you may realize that peanut butter makes you feel like shit. And that's because there's little pieces of bug. Are dust mites bugs? They're arthropods. They're the same relatives. If I'm allergic to woolly bear caterpillars, am I probably allergic? Yeah, you're probably sensitive to all urticating hairs from insects. Bug butter. Good in protein. Nutrients. One of the peanut bugger, Helen. One of my coworkers suggested for the cicadas, if you found them while they were young and fresh, to take the wings off, fry them in garlic butter, and they tasted like soft shell crab. Now, I have not tried that because I think taking wings off cicadas would make me cry. Wait, can you repeat the peanut butter bug fact? Yes. So there is an allowance in processed foods, and most commonly, I think of peanut butter because it has one of the highest allowances of how much insect parts per product can be allowed. So as they're processing food in these plants, inevitably there will be insects, and some may get into processing, and they're allowed to have a certain amount of bug parts in those processed foods. And so if you have an extreme shellfish allergy, peanut butter can make you feel kind of inflammatory. I'm sorry I said it out loud. Peanut butter's delicious. I love Jif. Time to mention Laffy Taffy bugs. There are these things called water bugs. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're belostomatids. They taste like banana Laffy Taffy, 100%. You fillet them like a fish, and you eat the little bug steaks inside, and they taste like banana Laffy Taffy. They're absolutely mind-bending. I don't know why I ate one. I do know because I was offered, and I didn't want to be rude. It was an experience. Water bugs, belostomatids taste like banana Laffy Taffy for real, 100%. You have to fillet them though. Like there was a chef, and they were a bug chef, and I was eating bug meals. So I had this like very nice artisanal fried dragonfly that had like panko crust and this really fancy aioli, and like it was art, and then they got their tiny little instruments out and they put the bella stomata on the plate, and they started like filleting the water bug to get the meat out to cook the meat, and it tasted like vanilla Laffy Taffy. It was the only time I've ever done it. How does one become a bug chef? I don't know. It was at a bug conference, and so they had a really focused audience, right? Found the spider in the chat. Hello, hello. I have so many questions about this practice. The bug chef drizzled Laffy Taffy on a bug to trick you. I would cry. Yeah, it was an experience. I definitely signed myself up for something. Where do bugs get in the packaging process? In the factories or raw materials? It's mostly from the raw materials processing into the food. So it's not necessarily the packaging. It's when they get the raw materials, they're processed, and then, like, for example, the peanuts are ground into peanut butter and added with processed oils. That would be when it happens. Have you ever heard of the spider Dinopody? Oh, those are the net casting spiders. Yes. They're so cool. Wait, y'all, I'm so sorry to say this. Katydid alert! It's a katydid! She has got the bendy straw bussy, as you can see here. It's got a fun angle to it. She's a big girl. Yeah, they call those water bugs toe biters. I hate to tell y'all. I hate to tell y'all what time I hate to tell y'all what time it is. I hate to mention it. I hate to bring it up. It's closing time. The bug picnic is over. We saw a scorpion and a katydid and a field cricket and a grasshopper. It's closing time. Bug hunt is over. Thank you for your time. Everyone's got to sleep. You got to go to bed. Bugs sleep. We sleep. It's okay. I believe it was Sunday too, but it's Wednesday. I am going to commit myself on the stream. I'm going to post something about making bug houses or bee houses. We'll talk about different projects we can make. I'll put that on the Instagram and the Discord. You can join both. I appreciate y'all so much. You're so fun. Such a very fun, great questions. Oh, for anyone's first bug hunts, thank you from the OGs that have been here since I was like typing on the keyboard in silence. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Echo, for tonight. Did a great job. Excellent. Snaps. So excited for my new adventure as a bug influencer. Me too. It's really silly, but I'm having fun. I feel like I have my own little fiefdom. Thank y'all so much. You know what's gonna happen. It's time to go. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.